Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this map of their hometown in Canada somewhere, and they want to make a map out of this for the community. So what I did, I just took two photos. You can use the snipping tool. I use Snagit. There's a lot of tools out there where you could take a copy of that, and I just brought them into Corel. Now, like he realized they don't trace with the flip. So I made two. I made one with the bullet points off and one with the bullet points, well, off and on. Since this doesn't trace, it would be really easy just to redraw it. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a 2-point line, and I'm going to go from there to there. And you can see that that's not thick enough, so we're going to make it a hairline or something other than, I'm going to change that right now to points. So I hit a 12 on the keyboard. You got to be clicked off for I'm going to go to points. So now I can set this on like a half a point. Maybe the bigger street, like 1 point. And we can make that black later. Now the other streets, I would do the straight ones first. I'd take a 2-point line and go from like right there to right there. And then that's probably a little bit bigger street. Kind of get it close. And I'm going to go ahead and make that one the 1 point. But I'm going to make this one, it's not quite as big a road that it looks like. He will know more. I'm going to make it 0.75. Now the other roads, just draw them by hand. And like this particular one, what I would do is take it, it's got 2 bends in it, take your rectangle tool and just build a rectangle around that. And then while it's still in this mode, unlock, and I'm going to turn the edges, even point, so like 0.05, that might even be too much, 0.04, there you go. Now we're going to do this one, 0.04, and you basically have that street. Now we're going to turn that street into I'll have to click off of it, click back on it and I didn't have to do that, it's right there, 0.75 street. Now, he is a vinyl cutter, so I don't know how that actually works, but what you could do is, let's set our nudge factor on like 0.2, and I'm going to nudge this down. And I am going to take my shape tool. Well, first of all, I'm going to take this shape and convert it to a curve. And then I'm going to take my shape tool and I am going to select these 2 nodes. I'm going to right click and break them apart. And then I can delete this line. And then by doing that, when I nudge it back up, there's not a double line there. The other lines, you might want to now, let's see, this line is the 0.75, hit F12, go to 0.75, and now every line you draw is going to be 0.75. And I know nothing about vinyl cutting, so I don't know if you have to, and that one actually has a round cap on it, look like. We could still hit F12 and make it a round cap, and it looks like that. The other streets, this is a lot easier than most people would think. If you take right there and go there, let go and go there, let go and go there, and then go ahead and hit F12, and that looks like a round end cap, and it'll look better too. You have that. This street, just try to go down, go across. I'm trying to go to the middle on all of them. And I'm not taking all the time in the world, but you see how those aren't connected? So what I would do is not even draw that line and take your 2-point line and just go from there to there. And then that way they look like they're connected. And just, take your time. Now, once we do this, we'll be able to move it out of the way. See, that's a straight line. I'm not going to round cap everything. It would look better round capped. And I'm not taking my a lot of time on the angle, per se. As long as you get it close. This one's a little bit different. I would go maybe to right there. Go right there because the rectangle tool is not going to work in this case. And if we were drawing in hairline, this would actually be a little bit better. We could now grab the freehand tool and go from that edge, kind of go over here, go over here, go over here, go over here, go over there. Now, you would want to join all those nodes together. So let's just do that now to make it look smoother. If we take the shape tool and actually let's select that, hold down the shift key, select that, and select, well, easier said than done. I need to click off the map. And also this would be a good case to lock the map. So if we grab that line, shift select that line, and then select all those nodes, we can go up to Windows, Dockers, and Join Curves, and it'll automatically make that kind of a one line. And you could fix that now. You could select both these and right click, turn them into a curve, and then you could put a little bit of a curve on there. It need to be whatever. He won't, there's not that many streets in this community. He would be able to do that. And you could actually take the smoothing tool, set on something pretty little like 0.25. That's still pretty big. Let's go 0.15 and just take that street now that it's all together. See how it makes it more like a curve? And then just do all the streets. And now the good thing about it, your map is still together. Let's set our nudge factor on 3 inches. And I'm doing this really little, and you could size it later. The one thing you're going to want to do is and you could maybe take a better picture of the map and have the roads in there. But once you get done, you could actually weld this together. And now it's all one piece, and you'll be a lot happier. And I think when we weld, no matter, see how the lines are getting thinner? So we are going to have to hit F12 and go scale with object. And then when you make this bigger, they're going to scale to the same thickness per the object. And then just bring your map back over. And I would do the streets next, and just type in, the highways. You might have to nudge some things over, and we could actually, in doing this, I would actually I wouldn't move it. I would nudge it like 0.1, nudge that over. And you could see that that's Highway 17, or it's a little bit weird shape, but you could make that shape. Let's just make that shape. From what I could see, he would know more about the state sign, but we're going to just go like that big and draw it in a hairline. And we still got a ratio on lock. Let's, 0.001. Just give a little bit of curve, maybe 0.002. There we go. And then once you know that, 0.002. And then what I would do is let's turn that into a curve. Grab your shape tool and just holding down the control button, bring that up. I still have the other one selected. So let's back up and deselect that other one. Get it kind of even, then add a node right there and bring it down. Now it looks like it's a little bit of a curve, so we could apply a little bit of a curve to it. Boy, it didn't look like it did anything. Well, it's because it's such a small number. Let's go 0.2. That's going to be way too big. Yeah, it's such a small number. Let's go back and let's go and turn this back into like a half inch line. well, 0.25 line. And then, you know, of course, making it black or whatever color you're going to want to make. And then just type in, well, my numbers are huge, but we can just go 17 and then reduce that and bring it down. I think I actually went way too far. No, I didn't. And one way to get this in the center would be to shift select the box and go CE, and that put it in the center. Now we can nudge this back over, but we don't want that other street in the way of it. So I've already welded it. That might be a little bit of a problem. Tell you what, for just a second, let's take out the 17 and see if we can't cut that with the virtual segment delete key. Good deal. Now, I would definitely take this and convert the outline to an object. And by doing that, you can take these nodes and bring them up so it looks like it's there, maybe do like right there. And you'd want that on top and then nudge that 17 back over. Doesn't really look like it's in the center, I think, because Corel's using that other part. And then just Broad Valley Drain, you know, all the streets, you know, seeing that we're offset, just type in, let's just do it real quick. I'm going to change my text to something small. Wow. This map is so little. You know what we're going to do? Let's delete that. And let's select, I'll tell you what, let's nudge this back. Let's select all this and make this map bigger. We want to make both the maps the same size. We're still going to make it bigger still because this is still only 24 inches, but we still have now the 1/4 inch nudge isn't going to do us much good, but we'll go like 3 times. Now we'll see what this looks like. So this is one name of one street. Started typing with capitals. Now, just make it smaller and rotate it, not 90 degrees, but 270 degrees, so it'll be legible. And then you can make it a little bit smaller still. And then it's just personal preference, whether you want it on what side of the street. So if we nudge this back, that's where it's going to be. And it's really pretty easy. Now I messed up my map somehow, because I didn't scale this with object. So I'm going to make it 2 points, and I would immediately hit F12 and scale it with object. So when we make it bigger, and then reduce this in size. And then if you just select both those and go CE, it'll put it in the center. It's not that hard. And then his bullet points that he would put on the side, most of them he's going to know, I would think. And he could relate back to his map and just put them where he wants them and make bullet points and stars or put numbers or letters for the bullet points. The rest of the map, really easy to draw. I mean, it's just, let's draw this curved street real quick. Well, this is a rectangle. Let's go from there to about there. And then let's take the shape tool and turn this into a curve, get our node and and just put that right there and right there. I mean, I love doing this. It's a little bit of an art, but it's kind of satisfying once you get it going. And this is going to be a kind of like a freehand tool here, till you get to this line, and then you can always change it. But don't forget to make it whatever size, but that's why I like drawing in a hairline right here, because I can manipulate a little bit more. You can change your handles, and then just take these two lines, shift select them, and now we're going to have to make them a little bit bigger because we're bigger in scale. So you might want to start off with a bigger map than I did. Now on this particular line, I would maybe do what I did on the other line. And if we take this with the shape tool and grab that node, well, tell you what, let's do. Let's shift select that and weld it. And then we should be able to cut this line out without moving the whole thing, but nope. We're going to have to go to the shape tool and delete that node, shift select that node, right click and break it apart. And then when we cut it, it will only cut through there. Now that's a messed up node there. That's something I did. And if you see how many nodes are here, let's do this. Let's join these nodes. Okay, this is a messed up side. And let's delete. See the handle? We could probably move the handle around. There you go. And then you'd want to make it a little bit even. So that's what I would do. And then I would do your long streets first. And this video is taking way too long. And this has a little bit of a crook in it. So just take your shape tool, add a node, and just kind of move that node over. I mean, you can add nodes, delete nodes. Let's add another node and kind of move it over a little bit. And then once you turn this into you'd want to remember I think we put 8. Now, one thing I've always tried to stress, if there's a number that's not there, if you want 6, all you have to do is type in 6. You can go 6, 7, 5. Anything in between there. This is just Corel's standard default. And then, move your map out of the way after you've got it all done. I forgot how big we made this. 22 inches. Let's make our nudge factor 25. We'll nudge our map out of the way. And, your bullet point would be easy. I've got look at the street. Yep, came out okay. And I would right click black, left click, no, left click, right click black, or left click black to make because a lot of these are now, and look what I did to that when I did that. Let me back up. Because basically I filled this in. Didn't mean to do that. So what you might want to do on these streets, let's set our nudge factor back on like 2 inches. Move this out of the way. Turn all this black. So I would move all my streets out of the way and right click and turn that black. And then we should be able to put that right back. Yes. And that would look pretty cool. Now, you don't have to put it. It would look so much better if the highways were on the street like this. Okay, this will be an easy one. This is just a elongated circle that anybody could draw. Just make a rectangle. And then just take your shape tool and just slide this in. And then you can always make the rectangle longer. You could do that both ways. And then just, if our nudge factor back to 25, I think, take that and move it back over to there. and do the same thing I did earlier. Now we're not exactly in the center, but I would put it in the center. And as long as it's something other than a hairline, it's going to show up. And then take that and delete. Well, we might not be able to do that. One thing we can do, select it all and left click. And what that did, and see some of these lines are different. And I don't know about his cutting. Let's put this like right in the middle. Well, it's close enough. Take this and now we can cut this out of the way. Now what you're going to have to do is actually smart fill the streets in. But see, that leaves that space for whatever highway that is. Let's see what it was. 233. And you might want to make that bigger. And then make it real small. You know, because if you start looking at dimension, I think he's going to make this thing pretty big. And really and truly, you could kind of leave it right there and then turn this black. And it would just fit in there. Kind of a fun project. See, I've got Broken Street up there, so you'd have to smart fill all the streets in. And then just be really careful to make sure there's no cut lines, because I don't really understand what he's going to do yet. And then, you know, we've lost some of the round end caps by some imagination, but that might be when I convert them to an outline. And you could change that. You could add a round end cap to that. You can't with a line because it's no longer a line. You know, if we could tell how big that is. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.